It's a chicken on a beer can. The best part about the whole dish, you get to drink half the beer. Now the first thing that we're going to do is prepare our lovely chicken. But before you've done that, make sure that you wash your hands really well before you come out to the barbecue. So I've got some nice Cajun seasoning. I'm just basically rubbing that in, and this is what you call a dry rub. Some nice even spread of that Cajun, and you can see that I'm keeping a little bit back. That's because I'm going to flip the chicken and do the exact same thing on the other side. So the next thing that goes on there is a nice bit of paprika. I'm also going to sprinkle some nice thyme leaves and just rub those in. A few little chili flakes just to give it a little kick. And I'm also just going to rub it with a lime. That'll just help to bring that little marinade together on the skin. So the last thing that we want to do is give it quite a generous amount of salt. Now the salt is really crucial because that'll help crispen up that skin and give it a lovely even golden brown colour. So just a little bit of pepper, and then we're going to flip that bird over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Now the next part of this recipe is probably the most fun part. We have to get rid of about that much out of the beer can, and there's definitely only one way that I can think of doing that. So now that my beer is half full, I'm going to make sure that little ring pull is off. And what we're going to do is basically, the level of the beer is now down there. I'm going to make a couple of tiny little holes. What's going to happen is we're going to sit the chicken on top of there, and as that beer heats up, it's going to steam and froth, and all that froth is going to come out of those little holes, and it's going to cook the inside of the chicken, and that's the key to the whole process. That's what's going to keep it lovely and moist from the inside. So the next thing we do is set our beer flat on our chopping board. This part of the chicken here, we're just going to very simply set it over the end of our beer can, and you should find that if we set that on nicely, that'll actually balance. We're just going to transfer it directly onto our barbecue. And basically, that's it. We're just going to close the lid. What's very important in this recipe is that we get a nice medium heat, because all that lovely steam is going to start coming out of the beer, and we want to make sure that the chicken's nice and brown on the outside. It'll probably take about 50 minutes to cook, and it's going to be so juicy by the time we've finished. So our chicken's been in there for about 45 minutes. I haven't lifted the lid much at all, just a couple of little sneaky peeks, and I can tell, because it's on such a low heat, that that is absolutely perfect. Now, there's still a tiny little bit of steam coming out of the beer, but if you just touch that meat, it's got a little bit of give to it, but not too much. That's absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to turn our barbecue off, we're going to take it out of the beer can, we'll place it on a plate and let it rest for 10 minutes just so all those nice juices can relax, and then we're going to carve it, and I guarantee you, it'll be the most succulent chicken you've ever eaten.